have an idea in your mind of something you want, and you deserve to get it. So how do you get there? Well, welcome to the Idea Space, a podcast devoted to helping you overcome frustration and make what you want a reality. I'm your host, Jen Liddy, high school teacher turned entrepreneur. Now I'm a business development coach. It's my mission to help women bring their ideas to life and get what they want without feeling guilty, selfish, overwhelmed, or lost. Every week, I share topics, tools, and strategies to help you move toward that thing you want. Create time and energy to do the things you love, get clarity on what you really want and how to get there, and most importantly, stop feeling alone with your challenges. Whether you've wanted to create a better business, job, relationship, hobby, or self, I know there's something more that you want, and it's time you were able to get it with confidence and clarity. Ready to have it? Let's go. Hello, welcome to the Idea Space podcast. And if you are listening to this on the day that it drops, we are post-Christmas and pre-New Year's. So today I wanted to share with you a tool that I think can help you in the new year to get the goal that you've been reaching for much easier. And the reason I'm sharing this tool with you is that it literally changed my life when I learned it and implemented it. So about a year and a half ago, I really noticed that I was totally distracted all the time. I would say that I was scattered and just kind of wasn't paying attention to things around me. I was always like 5 steps ahead in my mind. I remember this one example. I was running errands. I had a doctor appointment. I was in the medical building. I was high up on one of the higher up floors, and I had 15 minutes to get out of the building and meet my client. So I was feeling a little pressured and frazzled. And I was like, oh, yes, here's the elevator. Awesome. I'm going to make it. And I get on the elevator and I pick up my phone and I notice I had like 7 text messages come in, and I'm like, oh, I'll just take care of these while I'm going down the elevator. But I never hit the floor I wanted to go to. So I just stayed on the elevator, like not even noticing it wasn't moving. Other people got on and they pressed their numbers. So it literally took me 10 minutes going up and down the elevator trying to get to the floor I needed to, because I wasn't paying attention, because I was like not present. And another example is I really needed a car wash, but I knew that the line at Delta Sonic would be horrendous and probably take an hour. And so in my mind, I went into the future of my schedule for next week. And I was like, where will I have an hour next week to go get my car washed? Meanwhile, literally driving by a small, local, cheaper, not fancy car wash, and like blowing right by it and then having to circle around to try to get back to it once I realized what I did. And I wasted like 15 minutes doing that. And so if maybe this is you too, especially by this time of year, maybe, you're feeling like you're just scattered and you're a little frazzled and you're distracted and you're always in your future self, but not in a way that's helpful, in a way that's causing you to waste time and energy. It had happened to me, recently. I gave this cursory glance to my right at a stop sign, and then I turned left. And then it registered in my brain that there was actually a car at that stop sign who clearly had the right of way. Like I basically almost caused an accident because I was just so constantly distracted. And I was like, oh my God, I've turned into that jackass. And that was when it was time to admit I had a problem. I was always thinking about what's next, what's on the list of things to do, what can I cross off, how am I going to get it all done? And I was feeling scattered and frazzled. And that is a crappy way to feel. I hate that, the energy of that feeling. And I was really like kind of hardly present. I was super distracted. I was edgy, and I was just constantly living in the future and not in a helpful way. So here's why I do it. And maybe this sounds familiar to you. I'm terrified I'm going to forget something. So I have to do it right now, or make a plan right now, or problem solve right now, because if I don't do it now, it's going to leak out of my brain. And I know that I'm not the only one, because many of my clients struggle with this, and maybe you do too, which means it's time to make a shift. And so what I committed to was just being in the present, be here now. And I know that maybe you're thinking like, okay, that sounds good, but how the hell do you do that? So maybe you're thinking, like, what about all the things I need to get done? And my brain is like obviously full of holes. Things are leaking out of it. I have to take care of everything right now. How am I going to deal with things unless I do all the things all the time right now with immediate action, which causes you to feel distracted and frazzled. And so it's actually easier than you think it is. It's called a distraction list. And I just have an ongoing list. This is a strategy that I learned from an efficiency expert, and it's pretty easy to implement. When you think of something that you want to do or research or explore, whatever, you write it down on a distraction list. Now, over the past few years, I've started calling this a thought parking lot with my clients. And here's why it's so valuable. The minute your brain knows that whatever you need to remember or do is written down somewhere, your brain can relax because it knows you can just always go back to finding it. Your brain, I don't know about you, but my brain, when I have something that I'm trying to remember and I don't have it written down someplace, and this is not a to-do list, it's just a list, a place to keep things like a parking lot. But when my brain knows I have something, it kind of just keeps scanning to remind me that it's in there. Like, don't forget, Jen, like boop, boop, boop. Like, it's just like, it's there, it's there, it's there. And I can't relax and I can't be present when that's happening. So here's my strategy, and I have two choices. If available, I use a notebook that I just always have with me. And if that's not possible, because sometimes these things happen in the car or on a walk, then I just add it to this ongoing list on my phone. And so I'll just say, Siri, take a note. And my Siri is an Australian sexy dude with a cool accent. So I love when he shows up. And he says, what can I do for you, Jen? And I'll say, take a note, order David Sedaris tickets, or ask Ninu for her lentil recipe, or talk to John about going to San Francisco with him. Like, whatever it is that I just want to get out of my head, I put it on this list. That way I know that it's someplace and I can retrieve it when I'm ready and present to deal with it. So if you feel like me with an overly busy brain that's constantly scanning for the next thing you need to do or remember, this tool is one of the most powerful shifts that you can make to move into 2020 with more clarity and more intention. You have a vision, you have a dream and a goal. And if you want to get there, you need more energy, focus, and time to make it real. This strategy is a simple tool to implement everywhere and at any time. So it's my number one strategy for sanity, and I would love to have your company along the way as I implement this in January. So grab hold of your busy brain, and I'd love to hear how this works for you. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm at Jen Liddy Coach, and tell me how it's going. I'd love to see you there. And Happy New Year to you. And I hope that what you're doing for the new year, whether you're celebrating in a big way or you're celebrating in a micro way, whether you're with a lot of people or you're with not a lot of people, I hope that you've made a choice that makes you feel excited and taken care of and happy. So Happy New Year to you. See you in 2020. Bye. Thanks for joining me today. You can access more free tools and video trainings at www.jenliddy.com/free sources. That's FREE sources. If you found this podcast helpful, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed and gave a review. And if you have a friend who'd benefit from today's topic, tool, or strategy, please share the Idea Space podcast with her. That way, together, we can help more women achieve their dreams and take action on their ideas. Isn't it time we all were able to get what we want? Join me next week, and remember, right now, all you need to do to make your idea a reality is take the very next step you know how to. Bye!